Alright, so I'm gonna share with you another verbal kung fu incident. This happened today. I went to the grocery store around the block from where my school is. And I live, the school is located in a rough neighborhood. There's people have like a lot of aggression out there. Not just the men, but the women as well. So basically I go in the grocery store. I get the stuff that I need to get. I go to the checkout, and then the person says, hey, these eggs are not the right eggs. You got to get these other eggs. Like, these are not the right ones for what you have. So I went, okay, so I went to get the eggs, to switch out the eggs. And as I was going by, there's a woman that was standing there. There's actually two women, but there's one woman that was standing there. And then I just walked past her. But it was like a scrunchy area because, there's not that much walking space. But I just walked past her. And then she just blurted out, well, at least you could say, excuse me. That's what she said. She would with a tone of voice. But I didn't say nothing, whatever. I just got the eggs, I came back. And then she was in the way now. But she was facing away from me. So then this time I said, excuse me. And then she moves, and then she's like, she started yelling. Like, why the hell you gotta come through this line like that? And I'm like, then I just snapped back. I'm like, I gotta go through the line, you know what I'm saying? And then she's like, I'm like, where the hell else am I supposed to go? I'm supposed to go through the line. And she's like, you could go around. Like, she meant, like, go around to the other register. You know what I'm saying? That's what she meant. I'm like, I ain't gonna go all the way around for what? Just move. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, she said something else, and then I said, you shut your ass up. You know what I'm saying? And then under her breath, she's like, you shut your ass up. And then it ended right there. Then I didn't say nothing else. Then I just got my stuff, and then I left. But basically, what's going on is that it's like verbal bullying. I let one time slide when she gave me that attitude by going past. I didn't say nothing. And then I come back, and then she started snapping at me. Then I snap back. But this is just an example of, like, the verbal self-defense that's required, especially in Chicago and living around these people with these huge attitudes, and they like to verbally bully you. They're testing you. And it's one thing to be bullied by, like, a big person, and somebody that's stronger than you, and then you're getting bullied by somebody who's bigger than you, and he might beat you up in a fight or something. You're thinking all this stuff. Okay, then you're kind of fearful, and you won't say nothing because he might have a gun, or he's bigger than you, or he's with his friends, and you don't say nothing. But it's another thing to allow somebody that's weaker than you to bully you, because not only are you allowing people that are stronger than you and might have friends or might have guns and weapons bully you, but you're even allowing the people weaker than you, the women and the children, to bully you as well. I don't agree to that. To me, it's not even just about being a martial artist, but it even makes it even more important that when you train in martial arts, that you stand up for yourself. Because that's what you're training to do. You're training to defend yourself, not just physically, but also, like, verbally. Because, like, it's not, to me, it's not about, like, just submitting to everybody, just surrendering to everybody, it's not about just letting people just walk all over you. But at the same time, it's not about being a bully, but at the same time, it's not about letting people walk all over you. And in this instance, like, I had to say something. I wasn't in a good mood anyway. But regardless of the fact, I let one time slide already. The second time I wasn't going to let it slide. And it didn't turn into anything physical. It stopped there. But I could tell that she thought she was going to just say whatever the hell she wanted to say. And then when I started talking back, then she started to kind of back down, because she was testing me out to see if she could just bully me and just embarrass me, or just, yell at me in front of other people as if, she's somebody special. You know, and I wasn't gonna have that. You know what I'm saying? And really, it could have kicked off to something more. She could have her friends there, and then they want to fight. Well, if that's what it's gonna be, then that's what it's gonna be. But this is a situation. Was an incident that I experienced. That this is a part of, like, defending yourself. It's not just about physical self-defense. It's about also verbal self-defense. And you know, there's people out there that are highly aggressive, not just physically but verbally as well. And a part of the training is learning to defend yourself. You know, to not just let people walk all over you. And you know what? This is something that's very relevant for employment. You know, in the working world, a lot of times it's not even physical where they're punching you. A lot of times they're attacking you, like, verbally. Like, it could be your boss, it could be your co-workers, it could be the customers, and you gotta learn how to fight back verbally and put them in check. And at this moment, at that incident, I did put her in check. You know, to let her know that I'm not gonna be the one that you're gonna be talking to like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when not even doing anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because first off, the first time that I walked past her, she wasn't in the way completely, so I just squeezed myself through. I didn't even touch her. And then she started snapping. Why, you could at least say, excuse me. Alright, so then I came back, and then she was in the way, and I said, excuse me. And then she started snapping again. So no matter what I did, she was yelling at me. And then she expected me to go around. What the fuck am I going to go around for? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not going to go around for what? You know what I'm saying? So basically, you know, living in Chicago, dealing with these types of people in the stores and the streets, it makes me, like, alert and sometimes, like, assertive, aggressive, like this energy to fight back. You know, not just verbally but physically, potentially. And then also having 5 kids and having to put them in line when they're out of line makes me this way. And also having a wife that's very strong, like, minded and very extroverted, and she talks so quickly. You know, it's taught me to defend myself, like, when I feel that I need to be defended. You know, on the verbal level. You know, because when I started practicing martial arts and throughout my entire life, I wasn't good at the verbal defense. I was training and good at the physical defense, self-defense, but the verbal self-defense was another story. That's something I need to work on, and I've been training this constantly for many years now, where I fight back verbally as well. You know, and that's something that I feel that's a necessary part of the martial arts that people don't really pay attention to. But pretty much every single time a real fight breaks out on the streets, it typically starts verbally. And it's basically based upon how you deal with that verbal altercation. But I wasn't going to just let this one slide. You know, I had to fight back. You know what I'm saying? But everything turned out okay, and basically it was just another incident that I experienced, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. Okay? There was another incident months ago that happened in Subway, and it was a different situation. A woman was snapping at the counter lady at Subway. I walked in, I looked at the woman that was snapping at her, and she looked at me, and she's like, what the hell are you looking at? You know, she just gave me an attitude. And I just didn't say nothing. I just walked past and whatever. But she didn't say nothing else. But I was ready to come right back. If she was going to keep coming at me, I was going to snap at her. But she didn't come with nothing else. But basically, what I'm saying is, you know, I typically will give people, you know, some, you know, let them slide. One time, maybe even 2 times. But after that, I'm going to come back. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, these are the type of people that live in Chicago, especially in this area. They're very highly aggressive. And things could kick off. And this was one of the things that happened that I feel is extremely relevant to the martial arts, and people not only should be prepared physically, but they need to be prepared mentally and work on their verbal kung fu self-defense.